Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Cecilia, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Realbotix. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Andrew Kegel, Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Realbotix, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol XBOTF and on the TSXV under the symbol XBOT. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you very much for the introduction and welcome everybody. So Realbotix, we create realistic humanoid robots and companionship-based AI. I'll skip a little bit here to show some of our stuff and talk about it. What we do is we create customizable, full-size, full-bodied robots. We have a reputation for creating the most realistic robots on the planet right now. And we build our AI differently than everybody else in that we're looking to create social connection with humans as opposed to fulfilling tasks. And I'll talk more about that as we go along. We have 3 product lines, and I'm going to walk through each of the 3 right now. The first product line we call humanoid figures. So these are static figures. They're considered to be the world's highest quality, very realistic silicone figures. The average cost of these is close to $10,000. Historical sales in this area have been $3 to $5 million annually with 60% gross profit margins. People choose to use these for entertainment, maybe companionship, maybe they've experienced the death of a loved one, or they're just feeling isolated, perhaps geographically or because of something that's happened in their life. Our robots evolved from the humanoid figures, and it's a newer product line for us that's really taking off. What makes our robots different is that they look extremely human, and we build them with modular body parts. This allows for quick character customization. You'll see in the video in a second, you can remove the face, put on a new face, a new wig, click a button, and you have a completely different robot with new AI. We have realistic eyes, and again, all of our products are customizable. John, if you can please play the video. So what you're seeing here are some of our actual products, and you can see here how the face can be quickly removed and reattached. That's what the underneath looks like. We can test it. This is also great for upgrades and maintenance, but we can put a different face on and turn a male into a female very quickly. And those are sort of some of the inner components. This is some of the use cases in entertainment where Whitney Cummings did a replica of herself. So what do our clients look like here? So a robotic head is in the range of sort of $25,000. And if you wanted a full-size robot, that's in the $200,000 range. And so the first product that we have is more catering towards home use and retail use. This is more of a corporate product. Again, we price them with 60% gross margins, and it's customers primarily today in the entertainment space, amusement parks, and we've actually done work for the US military as well. The picture you see here, and all the pictures, by the way, that you see in this presentation are of our actual robots. The third area, which is now in beta testing, is our social and companionship AI. So this is specifically targeted towards social occasions, companionship, and intimacy. And what makes it different than other AI, most people have heard of, ChatGPT or some of the other platforms that are out there. And those platforms are designed to complete intellectual tasks for humans. So it might be, can you get me information on, the real estate laws in New York State? Or can you plot this for me on the x-axis and this for me on the y-axis? Task-based to replace sort of, human intellectual work. Our AI is vastly different. We build on top of those open platforms, and we layer in a conversational layer that suits what we want, which is the AI to ask questions, the AI to have a memory, the AI to be able to interact with the person on the other side, to make them feel comfortable and like they're actually dealing with a human. We have lots of IP and trade secrets. The skin technology that we have is patented. It looks and feels real. This is one of our key areas that makes us different. We've got that patented modular system, which is the face that peels off and can be reattached. But the bodies, and I'll show you in one of the panels, the bodies can also are paneled. And so the skeletal part of the robot is the same, but we can add these panels on to create various characters within the same robotic frame. And that, again, is unique to us, and we have patents around that. What are the use cases for these robots? Probably the question I get asked the most, and the one that I get the most suggestions on. The existing verticals that we're servicing are entertainment. So if you think about amusement parks, conference centers, museums, robotic greeters at concert venues, restaurants, and retail stores, that is sort of the main area where we're seeing a lot of interest and where we have made sales. When we look towards the future, what do we see? And although the entertainment space is quite large, when we look to the future, we're sort of looking at healthcare. And I would ask the audience to consider a long-term healthcare facility or a senior's residence where you could have a robot that looks human-like, can go room to room, recognize the patient or the resident, have a conversation that is a continual conversation from what they were talking about the day before, can provide them with medications, listen, and relay important information back to the doctor if necessary. Education is another area we're going to target. Again, think about a teacher's assistant. You could have a teacher's assistant that's available at any time. It could upload, you could upload an entire course load to that robot, and you can interact with it and ask questions. You can ask things. For some people, if you're dealing with sensitive topics, there's all kinds of use cases in the entertainment space. In the education space. A few case studies here. Whitney Cummings, she did a robot replica of herself. It was just from the head up. We did the entire thing. And she was using this for her Netflix special, which is still available. This was a big hit for her, got over 2 million views. She took it on Joe Rogan. It was hugely popular for her and, achieve what she wanted to, create a new form of comedy, and got a large audience for her. Second, we've done work for the US military and Johns Hopkins Hospital. And so what they were looking for was a life-size robot that we could program to collect data to indicate where injuries would occur for infantry. So if there was an injured person or someone that needed to be carried in a combat zone, there's various ways for them to be carried. And so what they did is we used our robot. It was loaded with accelerometers that would relay information back to them. And we believe that was helpful for them in creating safer ways and optimizing ways for transporting wounded infantry through that process. The third case study here and the last one is for marketing. These are robots that we've sent to other countries. They're used at conferences. They're used for ribbon cutting ceremonies, things like that. These robots were built to the specifications of the client. They have a full range of body movements, facial expressions, and this would include human actions such as waving, smiling. And again, we think this is sort of a key area that's going to continue to grow. If you think about museums, hotels, concierges, receptionists at different places, we'd love to get into a casino where you go in and you can ask the robot, where are the slot machines? Where's the bathroom? Where can I eat a hamburger? And we think that's a way for them to increase foot traffic and get attention. We've been pop culture drivers. I think a lot of areas that are looking for information on robots come to us to get information. Again, we've been on Joe Rogan, but we've also consulted on Westworld and several other places, movies. One of the things that we've done is we've decided to use a robot as a brand ambassador and advisor to the company. Her name is Aria. She has her own social media, which you can see here. We did what I think was the first live robot interview a couple weeks ago on Fox News. It was fully live. You can catch it on our website, which is realbotix.ai. John, maybe you can play the video and just show a little bit about what she looks like. So I think you can see there how our robots are different than what other companies are building. So in looking to other companies, obviously Tesla's been in the news with their robot recently, Optimus. On October 10th, they did a big release and unveiling of that. And look, we think that's a great robot, but it doesn't look anything like a human. It can't hold any sort of facial expressions. It's great for replacing physical human labor, but that's not what we're making robots for. Our robots are there for social occasions. They're meant to keep people company. They're meant to, download information, to have conversations with. Places like conferences. Imagine at a conference, your brand or your company had its logo across the robot's t-shirt, maybe wearing a hat, and people could come up to a robot and ask information about that product. It's just a way to elevate a brand and get foot traffic and people to notice what you're doing. So how big is the market that we're looking at? It's a massive market. Everybody's really focused in the AI market on things like, the intellectual things that ChatGPT does. And in the robotics market, they're very focused on things like physical labor. That's all great, but we're focused in a very different area. And you can see here that we have a market size that's $85 billion by 2023. And the humanoid robotics market is expected to be $28 billion by 2032. And these are from verified sources. And so we're super excited to be in an area that a lot of the larger players are just not focused on. Again, these are just statistics, and this deck is available on our website for people to review. So talking about the competition, and we added this slide in to show Aria, our sort of flagship brand ambassador robot, compared to everybody else's robots. And you see here, the Optimus robot, all the rest of these robots look very robotic. And the reason why that is because they're built primarily around the components first, and then trying to look like something sort of with a human shape later. We took the reverse approach. We took the humanoid figures and things that we were building, and we started putting the robotics into the human shape. And that's why our figures look so much more like humans than the other robots that are actually available out there. The other thing I would note, which is pretty important, is most of these robots are available for purchase. Tesla said that you'll be able to start ordering their robot, I believe, at the end of next year, and then who knows how long it is until it's delivered. You can order robots now. They're available. The technology is here. So what does our company look like? We're undergoing our audit right now, which will be released in December. We have a September year end, but we're well capitalized, and you have to look beyond our cash figure. We're also holding cryptocurrencies. This is from the predecessor build company. This company, Realbotix, did an RTO into a company that was listed and holding cryptocurrencies. And so we're still holding Ethereum and Solana on our balance sheet that's fully liquid. We think that makes us unique. A lot of companies hold Bitcoin as their treasury form of asset or capital. We're holding it in Ethereum and Solana. And as well, we have cash. I think we're well capitalized here. No need to access the market anytime soon. We have an experienced management team. We include Aria there as our brand ambassador, and a very experienced board as well. I'll sum up here before we get into some questions with, why should somebody consider investing in Realbotix? I'll sum up through these 6 points. Number one, we're one of the few developers of AI built specifically for companionship and intimacy. What does that mean? It means you can have conversations. It can be your boyfriend. It can be your girlfriend. We're building it to be accessible through our robots, where you'll have exact, ability for the robots to communicate and talk to you through voice recognition and speech. Or we're developing this so you'll be able to access it through your browser or your phone. So maybe you don't have the price point to buy a robot, but you still would like to have that interaction with AI that feels like a friend. We'll be able to supply that to you over your phone. We have patented skin technology that looks and feels real. If you look at all of our peers out there in the space, none of them have anything close to what we're building. We have the most realistic robots on the planet right now. The features, the integrated learning. I don't know, and I could be off on this, but I don't know of any other publicly traded company in North America that is singularly focused on AI and robotics and the integration of those two things the way we are. I talked a little bit about the market. It's a massive market that's poised to grow for decades. I think everybody sort of sees that robotics is going to be a part of mainstream, uses over the next 10, 20 years. And it's a massively growing market. But again, I wouldn't overlook the AI companionship part, because that's also huge. Our ability to integrate those is very unique. We don't have a lot of competitors out there. Everybody's focused on, replacing physical labor and intellectual, tasks on the AI front. We got a sort of a special area with not a lot of people doing what we're doing. And again, the management team is experienced and aligned. Insiders own just over 40% of the company. So I think with that, I'll talk. Oh, one last slide. Shares outstanding. We have just under 200 million shares outstanding. Not a lot of in-the-money dilutive securities. So the fully diluted number is not a lot higher. Our website is realbotix.ai. We are in the process and should have finished this month a new client website where you'll be able to actually order a custom robot right off the site. I think that's all. We trade on the OTC under, as we said before, XBOTF. Maybe with that, we can turn it over to questions. Okay, I see some questions here. I'm going to read them and answer them. First question says, are these robots upgradable? For example, if someone buys a basic model, can they add a feature like a robot arm and legs later on? So the answer is yes. The robotic busts are much more affordable. You could probably get our basic one for about $15,000, and you can add a body to it later. Also, because we have this patented modular system, we're able to sort of remove the face, make upgrades, sort of as the person wants. That said, as we continue to upgrade, it's going to be a little bit like, buying a phone. In 2 years, there might be a better phone out there with better features, largely has the same capabilities, but people may choose to upgrade. The revenue model. That's the next question. Can you discuss the revenue model, upfront sale, monthly recurring, et cetera? So let's go through each of the three product lines. The humanoid figure product line has done historically between 3 and 5 million of sales. We're currently in the process of adding more marketing dollars to that. We think we can probably double or triple that over the next couple of years. What we normally do is charge for the money up front. The second point, which is the robots, the robotic heads and the full-size robots. Again, we want generally a 50% down payment on that. We price everything with a 60% margin. That's a newer area. So we have sold robots, but we've really just started marketing the robots in the last month or two. We're going to be unveiling a brand new robot at CES. And so we're excited for that. And we think we'll be completely sold out of our capacity by March of next year. And in terms of the third product line, which is the AI is going to be a monthly subscription. And so we haven't quite determined the price yet for the AI. I think as a standalone, the AI will have a price probably in the $10 to $20 range. And then the AI that functions with the robots will be a little bit more. And I'll explain why. We have built this tremendous AI that's in beta testing right now that actually matches what the robot's mouth is moving with what it's saying. And that's something highly unique. So for example, if the robot's telling a joke, it can sort of be smiling as it's telling the joke. So we think that's pretty unique, and we'll have a monthly subscription charge for that somebody can use to work with their robot. How are your robots powered? They're plugged in, and you have the option for the full-size robot to have a battery-powered, lithium battery-powered at the base that also has wheels on it that allows it to move around and go from room to room. It's got the charge currently that we're working on lasts about 3 to 4 hours, but it can, again, easily be plugged in, and off any wall plug-in can be workable that way. What is the total addressable market and competitive environment for your social robots? So it's a great question, and I think we had the slides in there before that I believe the humanoid robotics market is expected to be, about 28 billion, and the companionship AI market's expected to be about 80 billion. And so when I look at what the market is, we're building the market. This is not like setting up a bakery on the corner or a clothing store where you can sort of say, here's how many have been sold. We're sort of building this market. What I can say is that we're getting a ton of inquiries. We're in conversations with lots of people. We have already sold several robots. I think as we continue to showcase what we're doing, there'll continue to be more demand. But ultimately, the forecasts by the A16Zs, the Cathy Woods, ARC, and various other places estimate this all to be like a market that's in the tens of billions and growing for another 2 decades. Does your research show problems with robots that fall into the uncanny valley? If so, how do you deal with this? I'm I'm not exactly sure what that means, uncanny valley. But I think if you're saying sort of like robots that can suffer from malfunction, hallucinations, and things like that, look, we monitor our robots daily. I think with any AI, and in fact, actually with any human interaction, there's always going to be some things that are prone to error. And thus, we continue to develop the technology. I'll mention this about the AI, and this is interesting. So right now, we're using 3 open AI platforms that are already existing. So while the proprietary layer that we build sits on top of those, the main part that's kind of driving and some of that informational part has already been developed by companies that have spent billions and billions of dollars to create it and have now made it open source. And so what we're doing is we're sort of building on top of that to suit our conversational needs, our conversational turns, and all the things that we've built. And we're continuing to monitor that. Really, we monitor on a daily basis. Are you providing guidance for 2025 revenue or unit sales? We're not. We're a small company. It's hard for us to estimate, but this is what I would say. Historically, the humanoid figures unit has done 3 to 5 million in sales. In terms of our robot capacity right now, again, we're not Tesla here, but the idea is we're going to sequence this. We believe we can build 15 to 20 robots annually right now. We're already sort of in process of starting to manufacture. We think we'll be sold out by next year. And the prices of those full-size robots is kind of in that $200,000 range. If we were to get a huge order from someone, we would move into new facilities immediately. But the idea is let's get us sold out first. And then we're going to start hunting in early in the new year for new facilities so we can scale up. Our view is that we want to be with the capacity to build, 500 plus robots annually by 2027. But everything has to be sequenced. And so first we need to sell the robots that we can manufacture. We need to get those revenues up. And we need to continue to invest in things like marketing. People don't know how great our robots are. I think we shocked Liz Clayman on the Fox Business News on her show when we had a live robot there that she was interacting with live. And we've done several interviews as well since then. If you go to our website, you'll see the capabilities of our AI and just how real our robots look. And so I think that's fairly important to know. I mentioned that there will be 4 robots at CES 2025. Will one of them be a male robot? There should be 2 male robots there. So the 2 full-bodied robots that we have are going to be there are both female. And then we're going to have 2 busts of the male robots. Everything should be hooked up to AI. What we're hoping to do is to have people come over and choose if they want to take pictures with the robots. And in exchange, we'd ask that they just tag us. So we think that's sort of a good use. But, for whatever reason, the female robots seem to be more popular. And Aria, which is sort of our brand ambassador and does all these interviews, has already sort of building a following. And so she will be the main robot there that people can interact with. Thoughts on your valuation and what you see as catalysts for revaluation of Realbotix. Always a dangerous question because I think every CEO believes their company is undervalued. I've got good views as to why we're undervalued. The business was rolled into a public company and rebranded. All of that was completed in July of this year. So it's only been a few months that we've been technically public. I think as we get the story out there, people will start to compare us to some of these other early stage robotics companies. And when I look at those early stage robotics companies, I don't see many that are valued at under $1 billion. Now, I think we have very unique technology here through our robots with the facial expressions, with the skin technology, the ability to customize and recustomize the same platform. And so when I look at our valuation right now, which I believe is around 30 million US on the OTC market, and considering that almost half of that is cash or cash equivalent, you're really getting a robotics company with sales and proprietary technology for a very low price. So I do believe that we are undervalued. But again, I preface that with saying I'm the CEO of the company. So I think that's pretty normal. But if this company was trading at $100 or $200 million, I would still think we're undervalued because I think this has got the potential to be a multi-billion-dollar business. Next question. The progress and challenges of the robots can be unknown to the general public. How do you plan to introduce this new machine to the general public, including as companion intimacy machines? So I didn't mention this before, but I should have. So the robotic busts, which is the robotic head that's AI enabled, can be connected to our humanoid figure bodies. And that's kind of our retail home product. We have sold several hundred of those, which I think we can claim somewhat safely to say we've put more robots into US households than any other company in history. The full-size robots, how do we intend to do that? Well, I view that as more of a corporate product. And so I can tell you right now, we're having conversations with, educational facilities. We're having conversations with entertainment venues such as theme parks. We've actually made a sale that we press released to a theme park. We're talking to museums. We're having conversations to casinos. And so I think that full-size robot is going to be, at least for the near term, a corporate product. It's not something that we think is ready for the house. I know other companies are like, oh, this will fold your clothes and iron and cook for you. I don't believe we're anywhere near that. I think that's years away, and I think there's maintenance issues. It's like having a car in your house. Our robots, full-size robots, are currently meant for corporations, and they're there to sort of elevate, communicate information to employees, interact with humans. I think that is all the questions that have come up. We're just about 4 minutes left. So I think if that's everything,